Aloha everyone, Joshua Hayes at BigWaveTrading.com. I hope you're enjoying your long weekend. Getting straight to the new long positions and the sell signals. Enough's been said about this market. Nice little bounce on Thursday, but like I've said on every bounce so far, it's just day one. We're going to have to see follow through, and the one thing that we haven't seen in this market in a very long time is any real follow through on any of the bounces the past couple of weeks. So we'll see if anything forms here. We're starting to slightly turn up off the lows, and we held the February lows in the NYSE. The Russell 2000, the same similar situation. NASDAQ's a little bit weaker, but you know, we're still holding those February lows. If we can continue to curl up, we could see some nice gains. And volume was actually higher on the NASDAQ and New York Stock Exchange on Thursday. Another slight positive. But getting straight into the long positions. The first one I want to go over is CRAI. CRAI is a Can Slim quality stock. CRAI was also confirmed in my new 52-week high scan on above average volume, but it was not in my price volume BOP surge scan because it doesn't have enough volume to make that. So right now, the Can Slim scan, if it makes it, gets 1%. If it makes it in the perfect speculator scan, 1%. IPO scan, 1%. And then in each additional scan, it only gets 0.5%. In the best of the best markets, the Can Slim scan can give you 5%. The perfect speculator can be 5%, and everything else could be 1 to 2%. In most normal markets, it's 2.5% per scan. In the recent uptrends, it's just been 2%. Well, with the market acting the way it is, it's now down to 1%. So for Monday, 1.5% of my capital is going to CRAI. Limit order, the high of the day, 52.60. My first cut loss is going to be right here, 50.17. My final cut loss is going to be right here, 49.22. And obviously, I project a similar measure move compared to the previous uptrend, and at worst, just this previous measure move. But either way, CRAI, very strong stock in a weak market, hitting new 52-week highs despite everything that's been happening lately in the market. So this is probably one of the higher quality long positions, but just to can some quality stock. Now on the perfect speculator side, there's quite a few. Or actually a couple. CHGG is in my perfect speculator scan. This not only was in my perfect speculator scan for 1%, but it was in my daily volume surge, which looks at the most explosive volume surge moves on the day, and my price volume BOP scan. So with the 1 and the 2.5s, this is going to be 2% of my account capital. Limit order for CHGG 2014. First cut loss limit order for CHGG 2084. First cut loss 2014. Final cut loss 1949. And what I didn't mention, that if you're really nervous here, but you don't want to stop taking new long positions, you can go ahead and take a new long position. Just obey those first stop levels, the very first ones. 50.17 on CRAI, CHGG 2014. Now, odds are that you could get shaken out before it moves higher is high, but in this market, I always preach safety first on an end-of-day trend following basis. There's no need to be a hero until the market confirms that it's ready to run. The next new long position I want to go over is BSTI. BSTI initially flagged in my IPO scan, 1%, because it's an initial public offering stock. They're normally more explosive than others. Confirmed in my price volume BOP scan. So 1.5% of my account capital, BSTI. Limit order, 10.50. First cut loss level, right there, 9.97. Second cut loss level, right there, 9.49. Now I skipped over TTI from the perfect speculator scan, so getting back to this one. TTI was actually the most noticeable of all the long signals following Thursday's session. Volume surge, BOP surge, nice hammer candle reversal pattern. So for TTI, this was in my perfect speculator scan, confirmed in my price volume BOP surge scan, so 1.5% of my account capital. Limit order 375. First cut loss level, it's right there, 359, the low of the day of Thursday. Final cut loss level, you could use this level here or this level here. I have it as 949, the most low lows. But like I said, probably right now, if you're a new trader, you want to see these things work immediately or just get out and wait for a better signal. So TTI, if you want to, it's probably more important just to use the 375 limit and then the 359 initial cut loss level. And then AFAM. AFAM was in my price volume BOP surge scan, so it gets 1% of my account capital. This was a Can Slim quality stock at one point, and based on the earnings estimates and its current sales growth, it will be a future Can Slim quality stock. But nice move, volume BOP move, price move. Want to get long AFAM, limit order 56.40. Cut loss levels 54.10 right here, and then I'm willing to use the final green bot below right here, 53.35. And then if 53.35 fails, I'll be completely out. And then RRR, this is a stock I tried to get long, I think back here on the curl reversal higher, but it failed because of the market. Well, it appears that it's trying to do it here. That most recent leg came on well below average volume, and as you can see, BOP held up very strong, has been increasing as it's falling, and on today's reversal with the volume surge, BOP surged higher. So RRR, want to get long, limit order, the high of the day, 29.58. First cut loss level, 28.52, and then for me right now, the dynamic 200-day moving average is my final cut loss level, which is 27.47 for now. But RRR, very nice. And then QNST overall for a highest quality stock signal this weekend, it's got to be QNST based on it being a can slim quality stock and a perfect speculator quality stock. But you know, it's got a lot of short-term resistance to fight through, so remember that. But normally this would be a 2% long signal. Since it's an ad signal, since you can see that white arrow there, that's where we went long right here, went long, entered here. Adding to QNST, limit order 12.99, first cut loss level, and really the only one I want everyone to pay attention to, 12.06. If it fails 12.06 on this ad, go ahead and bail. But then you could either use 11.03 as your final sell stop or 10.41 if you're like me. Right now on this entry here and on my current position following the move on Wednesday, my final cut loss is 10.41, so I will obey that on the entire position. But some pretty decent long signals, none are that great, but they're all good. CRAI, that volume, BOP, price move, very noticeable. TTI, the volume and BOP move, very noticeable with the price move. CHGG, same thing, the volume and BOP stand out. BSTI, the volume and BOP stands out. AFAM, the volume and BOP stands out. RRR, the volume and BOP stands out. QNST, what stands out here more is that BOP's higher in the session before, but it's that confirmation of the lows from the previous session, the bullish hammer candle right off the uptrending 50-day moving average with the nice higher close than the open. Overall, just a very good looking chart considering what the market has gone through. And that's the common theme. A lot of good looking stocks that I'm still long despite what the market's been doing. But we did have some end of day sell signals. But out of the three, one was a hedge. BZQ, that's the ultra short Brazil ETF. It's not only closing below the 50-day moving average, but it's closing below the recent lows right here. It was at 705. It's closing at 704, so it's closing below the 321 low a day and the 50-day moving average on above average volume in red BOP. So half of my stops personally are going to right here because 7 and 699 is splitting hairs. So I'll have half my stops at 698. I have a quarter right here and a quarter of the remaining position right there on BZQ. So no matter what, 50% of what you have left, if you're still long, needs to go to 1 cent below today's low a day or Thursday's low a day. And then VAC, another close below the 50-day moving average on above average volume, this time with red BOP with the heavier volume. So no matter what, it's 50% sell signal, but it's not 100% because it's not closing below the 323 low a day. It moves below the 323 low a day, it will be 100% sell signal. Now me, this was the long signal. It gapped up, didn't hit my limit, right? 114.25, 114.50. Moved my limit up to 114.50, never got filled, so I never had a position in VAC. But if you do, 50% or 100% preferably of whatever you have remaining needs to be moved below the 323 low a day. And the one and only 100% full sell signal, CBMG, this was the signal. The low of the day of the signal date's 1815. Closing at 1755, the first close below that level, that's a 100% fail, full sell, 12% loss on whatever I had left because I know I got shaken out of some here, got shaken out of more here, and then possibly got knocked out of all of it here also. Actually, I think I'm going to move, this is probably how it happened to me. I would have moved my final stop to 18 here, and then I would have been completely shaken out on the 26. So I didn't even have any coming in today's session. But if you still do, 100% of whatever you have left needs to go to 1 cent below 17.55. I believe this is a 5 cent stock, so 17.50. All right, everyone. Have a great rest of your long weekend. I'll see you in the chat room on Monday.